Hi guys, I'm back with another Plan With Me video in my passion planner. Sorry for not sharing a video last week. It was back to work and it was a very long week. I ran the training for staff on Monday and then just everything seemed to go not quite right during the week. There was lots of stuff that came up. I had to deal with a lot of things that teachers never really want to deal with in their job, and so life took over. I didn't get a video done, but I did share on Instagram peeks inside all of my planners and how I set them up for the week, and the spread I shared in this planner got the most amazing positive feedback, and so I'm just going to start with that open. It's this one. The functional colour blocking simple decoration is definitely something that I got distracted from, I think, and I shouldn't have done. I'm definitely doing prettier, more decorative planning in my Horizon Blue passion planner, but that's also kind of turned into my journal. So I plan in my week in a pretty fashion and then journal all around it. This is a great layout, and I thought I would try and do another spread like this in my planner for you guys to see how I did it, because some of you may not have seen the previous video that wasn't very talky where I tried to create this for the first time. Definitely ditching the ruler was a good idea when I did this week, something to bear in mind. And the other thing that I've started doing, which is proving really helpful, is setting up my to-do list in advance. So you may have seen a couple of my other Plan With Me's in my passion planner. I divide up my to-do lists, which is something I'm fairly certain I saw on the Passion Planner Instagram feed not long after I got my Passion Planner last year. And it definitely makes a difference, I find, for me, and has definitely helped in terms of future planning tasks. So future planning in terms of events and appointments and everything, that was fine. I didn't have a problem with that. But trying to work out, okay, I need to get this done and I need to do this on a specific time, and trying to record that in a way that worked, I was failing to find a system that worked, basically. I can't get my words out very well today. I apologise in advance. So dividing my to-do list up helps, because it means that in advance of my week, I can go ahead and go, right, I need to put down that this week I need to get so-and-so done. And it's a tiny little change to the way I'm doing things, but it's really, really helping. I'm going to give you a quick peek of February as well. I don't know if you can see, actually, I've got, at the moment, I've just got post-it tabs on my pages for my monthly views. I have got some Chelsea Brown design tabs somewhere over the Atlantic at the moment, that hopefully will arrive soon. But having 4 months set up in advance is really helpful. It's a whole school term, which makes a huge difference. And I just kind of map everything in. I've got my colour coding system going on here. I have got like household tasks down, so I can work out what I'm doing when. But there was a lot of other stuff I needed to fit in, and that's where I was struggling with what to do. So that's when I decided to do this. And I realised I repeated several phrases then, and that's kind of made me cringe a little bit, so I apologise in advance. I'm talking too much now, I think, so let's just get started. You can probably see I've put white out over the space of infinite possibility. I'll say that again. The space of infinite possibility header I've done over, and then the to-do list headers I've gone over as well. I use a Tipex mouse. I've tried various other makes. This is my favourite. I always come back to this little guy, and I use a mini pocket one because it's quite cute. Now, I was umming and ahhing about which washi to use, because I'm definitely liking washi at the moment, and I think I'm going to go with the paler one. This week, it is quite pale, and I quite like that, because I do have a lot of bold colours. And this is going to be really, really pedantic, but the end of that is not straight, so I'm going to have to cut it again and try and make it a bit straighter, which seems daft, but that's just how I do things. So, I only use this because I like a little bit of decoration. Don't think there's anything wrong with a little bit of decoration. Plus I really liked this washi when I bought it, and I haven't used it yet, bizarrely. It's kind of been sat in my box of washi tapes being unused. Probably because it's so pale. And in fact, I can even tell you why I bought this washi tape. It's a very sad story. Why are you buying washi tape? I bought this at the Southwest Craft and Planner meet off of one of the stall holders. I cannot remember who, I will be honest. And I picked up the weekend after I'd ordered my cover for my Horizon Blue Passion Planner, which was covered in feathers. So I thought this was something really nice, and I've never used it, but it's really calm and it's quite cool colours, which with the weather at the moment is quite nice. So that's the boring bit. For my spread now, I've got to remember, I actually used for this last week, bear with me, the Papermate Inkjoy gel pens, which I bought in the summer, and they're lovely, but I have struggled to find pages that I enjoy writing on them with. I know lots of people, this is their go-to pen now, they use gel pens, and they are gorgeous to write with, but I found in my bullet journals they were bleeding through. They don't in my Scribbles That Matter, but in my Leuchtturm and my Moleskine they were bleeding through. They're okay in the Erin Condren, they're okay in the Happy Planner, but I kind of feel like they were not a waste of money, but I didn't actually need them, and I still don't think that I need them. So, not quite buyer's remorse, but not far off. So I used these to sketch out my week, and I didn't use a ruler last week, and I'm not using a ruler again this week. And guess what? I can talk while I'm doing it. It is definitely a ruler thing that stops me being able to speak. So I do 6 lines of 3. So I do tend to get into work at about 7:30-ish in the morning, and I tend to be done probably somewhere between 3:30 and 4:30 most days. Wednesdays is a little bit longer with staff meetings. So the fact that I kind of cut it close doesn't really bother me too much. And yeah, I know you can't necessarily see the boxes that much. You can a little bit. It mentally it helps me break it up. Which I suppose is the important thing. Now, there's been a lot of posts going around again because it's January and people have got new planners about people, you know, how do you cope with messiness? How do you cope with mistakes in your planner? They do a whole page in the bullet journal and one tiny thing and it gets ruined and they spend hours on it. I don't use rulers in my bullet journal anymore at all. I gave up on that. I tried using a ruler for this the other week, as you know, and it significantly hindered my ability to think of anything. Words were failing. I know it wasn't well either. Words were struggling to appear in my head. Kind of knew what I wanted to do, but it didn't really go anywhere. I was too focused on the ruler. So my message, if you're thinking about how to deal with messiness in your planner, ditch the ruler. Make everything a little bit wibbly wobbly, hand drawn. Accept that things change, things happen, and that is life. And nobody is perfect, whatever they tell you. Even Mary Poppins isn't perfect. She's practically perfect, but that doesn't mean she's perfect. That means she's still got room for improvement. So, if nobody is perfect, why should your planner be perfect? Is my view. So that is that's work. Obviously, I think we've got that by now. Monday, as we've probably got the hang of by now, is guide night. So I do block a large amount of time out for it. And last week I did use one of these stickers, which is from Obeth Designs, to go in there, but actually having the space to write stuff in, I think, is more helpful. Yellow for me, what am I going on this week? I am going to the gym on Tuesday after work. And again on Thursday after work. And I will probably go on Saturday. If I sketch it in for about then, I can always change, make it a longer one as well. I did discover the other day, if I've said this before, I apologise, I can't really remember. With my weight loss and my exercise that has been going on, I have been doing a lot of it with my mum, who is lovely. I still find it a bit weird that she watches my videos. So, Mother, when you watch this, it's weird. We have been we were going swimming with each other regularly over the summer, and then our swimming pool closed, so we joined the gym at the same place. And in my head, I know when I'm going to the gym, and it works for me. It's right next door to school, so going after work it makes sense. Like, you're there, so you have to go. There's no way of getting out of it. So I did discover a couple of weeks ago that my mum had worked out when we were going to the gym during the week, because I'd put it in my planner and she'd watched the video. Which I do, Mother, I think it's weird, okay? Just saying that. You can go without me. Anyway, those are my gym sessions. Sorry, this is really weird. I know, I'm having a weird moment this week. I think it's just the exhaustion of being back at school. I'm colouring in again, and I kind of don't necessarily like colouring in on camera. So I'm actually going to stop there. I'll go back and colour it in a moment. Sunday I do need to put some more stuff in, because this is kind of what I like and kind of what I don't like about Passion Planner, is having your weekend split. I like it because I use Sunday to set up for the rest of the week, or I use Saturday to set up Sunday onwards, so that works for me. But when I'm away for a weekend, it splits over the weekend, and that sometimes bugs me. So I am going to use washi for this, because it's easy to time block things. And I'm conservatively going to say that we'll be back about 5 on Sunday, but I don't know yet. Mother, if you're watching this before I've come back, I don't know what time we're coming back. Is it weird that I'm talking to my mum through a YouTube video? I don't know. I apologise if you think it is weird. And then on Sunday evening, do it in yellow as well. On Sunday evening, sorry, I had to think about colours there. We are going to have dinner, so I'm going to put it in for about 6. This is at my mum's house, hence why I was talking about when we're back. I'm going to block in time then. It may change, so what? I know some people use friction pens to rub stuff out, and I'm kind of like, well, part of me likes being able to look back and go, well, that's what I planned to do, and you know what, it didn't happen, things changed, so what? I've just coloured in again. Right, rest of the week. Oh, purple for my husband. It's Tuesday now. Let's start with game night, which I'm actually going to line up against the time bar this week. I've been doing it over this side, and it hasn't really been working. Not that we needed to know that. So on Tuesday he also has a heart checkup, and then on Thursday he has an appointment about the car. So this is a new thing as well. I only started doing this week, about putting daily things that are going to happen that day that don't really need to go in the day. I've been putting at the top above the date. It's only a little change, but it kind of works for me quite well, so I'm happy with that. Tuesday is going to be writing night in theory. probably not in practicality, and then I'll block out time then. So this is much more me talking to myself. This is how I realistically planned last week. I'm fairly certain I sat here talking to myself as I drew out the week, because that's just what I do, is talk to myself apparently. What else did I do? So I noticed about the RE unit that we're on. We've moved on. I used a habit tracker sticker last week. This is a stacked habit tracker sticker. This is just one sticker from Elibeth Designs. In fact, I might use it again just to see where we're up to. I quite like it because it saves me drawing out habit tracker every time. Let's go with, what colour should we go with? Let's go with this one, the dark pink. It saved me drawing out the habit tracker in the box every time. And where I've started doing my lists, I know there's nothing on the list this week, but I'd done it a couple of weeks ago, and then last week all of this was filled by the time I got to the week. So, well, not all of that. All of that was filled. So it means it's not getting in the way, and I'm not tracking as much at the moment anyway. So that will sit there. RA unit this week is Revelation. So just in case you've not watched my other videos and you're looking at this one does double up for work as well. So I block the time out to track my lessons as a teacher. I keep track of my RE units because we are a Catholic school and we have a very tight RE schedule to work to, and it's just helpful to remember for sort of school-wide events and things. I do not think there's anything else going on this week. I'm just going to have a double check. We're on 21st through here. Movie night, nope. Oh, I was going to do some monthly planning. I'm going to leave that out for now, just because I may get to Thursday and decide actually going to do something specific on Saturday. I may want to do it on the following Sunday. I don't know yet. So I'm going to pause the video, go and do all my colouring in, and then I will be back. So all the colouring in is now done. I have been sticking to my colour coding system really well so far this year, and it is definitely making life a little bit easier. I've cut back on my colours, I've got it ingrained what they all mean, and it's working really well. So this is definitely something that I'm sticking with, and colouring in the blocks works far better than this. I don't know why. Colouring in the time bars is not enough. Colouring in the whole block makes a huge difference. So a couple of the things I've started doing is that's why I whited out that. I've just remembered I was going to put some washi at the top of here as well. Let's just do that really quickly. Sorry, stop partway through. I have started putting like a checklist down the side of the good things that have happened box. Just because like some weeks I used it and some weeks I didn't use it, and I kind of liked the idea of filling it up and almost forcing myself to fill it up, if that makes sense. So by drawing out like a checklist, I'm inclined to want to fill it, if that makes sense. That's my problem with checklist stickers. I want to fill them. Even if I don't need to fill them, I want to. So I do a checklist there because I want to fill it up and I want to record the good things that have happened. And I've actually started doing the 2 boxes for my focus. I haven't started doing, I was going to do it last week and I didn't. This, by the way, is a stencil from Daisy, which is a UK based shop on Etsy, and they sell all sorts of stencils for bullet journaling and things like that. So there's this one which I think is intended for like a weekly setup. I also have a couple more. I have this one which has like different symbols for trackers and stuff, again like for a weekly, and then this one which is like monthly flags and boxes and stuff like that. So I've been doing that, and then over here I use this one to record my daily score. So as you may or may not have seen from my Instagram, I have set up the year using guidance from Your Best Year by Lisa Jacobs. I've used the Life edition because obviously I'm not a business owner. And in there is the idea of having a daily score. So she has, as part of the weekly review, all sorts of checklists and things to work well. As part of the weekly review, you get 4 questions, and you kind of reflect on your week, naturally, and each day you're meant to give yourself a daily score. So in her, she has circles, and each circle is like 25% in terms of how you feel about productivity and getting things done. And I have been using this idea in my passion planner and just recording what I think has gone okay. Last week I kind of resorted to the negativity of life, so I'm just going to do a little tweak. This is my friend for messiness in planners. I do not care if you see white out, because I will put daily score as a header and then put my RE note up here. Yeah, I have been tracking my daily score in my passion planner, and last week I very much resorted to the negative view of life. I can't do anything, I haven't done anything, so it's quite low. This week I have gone back to using my bullet journal alongside this for my daily to-dos, which has worked. You may have seen in some of my older spreads I did my to-do lists within my colour block. So for work I'd have a to-do list for what I wanted to do for work. For like uni I'd have a to-do list for what I wanted to do for uni, and that was not working as well. So I've gone back to a bullet journal for my... I've never really left a bullet journal. I've gone back to a bullet journal, but I'm using it far less prettily, far less time faffing around with spreads, and I do a mind dump at the end of every day. What do I need to get done tomorrow? And my dailies are a page, but I record everything I need to get done and then I cross it off as I go. And quite often, like with work, I get to break time and half, if not 3/4, are crossed off. So this is definitely helping me be more productive, and I'm tracking it here. So it all sounds quite complicated, but it isn't as complicated as one would think. I'm also, as you may have seen before, colour dotting my tasks. So I do tend to do a column for work because I will fill this up tomorrow during my PPA most likely, and then everything else kind of varies, and I colour dot after I've written. Sounds confusing. Anyway, this, I would say I'm about done now on my spread. This has taken about 20 minutes. Last week it took much less time. That's because I wasn't thinking about what I was doing as much and talking my way through it as well. So that is how I produce my kind of functional spreads. I know I've seen a couple of posts on Instagram and some of the Facebook groups about, managing work and personal life and studying in your passion planner. This is how I do it. I colour block everything, and that works for me. And I sketch out the week in advance, but I kind of add things in as time goes on. I haven't much this week. We're only at Wednesday, and fairly early on in Wednesday, so more stuff will get added in, and I'll probably actually go back and add stuff in that's happened that I haven't recorded yet as well. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully this is of some help to you guys. If there is something you specifically want to see me do in my passion planner, leave a comment below. If you haven't yet found me on Instagram, I will leave that in the description box as well, just so you can see how this feels as the week goes on, as I'm trying to get back into the habit of doing like midweek picture spreads as well. No, that didn't make sense. Midweek spread pictures as well. That made more sense. I hope you guys have a lovely week. I will try and be back to normal service next week and have a video back and not leave it quite so long. And in the meantime, happy planning.